Hey everyone, my name is Flicker and welcome to Therapy. I don't know if the world's gonna still be around by the time anyone sees this video, but I figured I'd walk around, show you around the place, because I thought it was really neat. Oh, can turn that off, can turn that off. But no, what I like are these little posters on the wall. That can be ways to relieve it, but if you never work through it, then it'll just keep popping back up. Remind yourself of the good things you think about yourself and/or the good things that others think about you. You're not a bad person. You're just struggling. Box breathing doesn't always work for everyone. This is when you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale for 4 seconds. Another usually more effective way to try deep breathing would be to inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 6 seconds, and exhale for 7 seconds. Find the ground, grow again. Practice awareness of your surroundings. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can feel, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. Change your environment, change the lighting of your room, change the music, find something with an interesting texture, find a way to change the smell of your room, find a small snack with strong flavors. Remember, asking for help is strength, not weakness. No one can help if you don't say what's wrong. The moon. I really like the aesthetic of this place. It's soft and basic. Nothing too complicated, nothing too overwhelming or fancy. Just simple in a way that's comforting. A little bit of whimsy thrown in. Some nice areas, some calm. I also want to go see what the fuck is out here. Let me go down to the lower floors. Please let me go down to the lower floors. But damn it. Ah. Whoa. Whoa, that's actually kind of cool. Fucking hell, that makes for an interesting shot. And a hint of an idea? I am Flint. Hi. How are you? I had a line of thought a moment ago that had me anxious and whatnot, but then I remembered, hey, it's not my responsibility. Oh, I have no doubt that if gremlins were here and they could pick up and move around the plushes, just either throw them across the room or leave them sitting in midair, this place would become total chaos. It's always interesting to see a world where I can see my shadow move. To find a world where I can see my shadow moving. Okay, but where's this secondary light coming from? Oh, I mean, that's an interesting interpretation of lighting. Because when there are multiple light sources, you cast more than one shadow. Where the shadows overlap the most, that's the shadow that you'll notice the most. But by changing your position and looking at things from new perspectives, not only will you see different sections of your own shadow, but sometimes you'll realize there's another shadow shooting off in a direction you didn't notice. Something practical for both lighting and art and world rendering alongside psychology. And I like psychology. The effort to, well, psychotherapy. To integrate, to help someone integrate their shadow and weave all the parts into the whole in a way that feels comfortable to them. In a way that feels aligned with who they choose to be. So that way they're not feeling like they're left out of control or vulnerable when they don't want to be. To live life without fear. That is the basic idea of human rights. Of personal rights. I think it's a good idea to aspire to, even if the world isn't always so simple. In any case, this has been Flicker. I've wandered around this world called Therapy. Who's the author? Michael X. Knorr. I knew I recognized the style. I just didn't want to, make a guess and be wrong. Oh. Not only is this world easy on the rendering, it's also just easy on the eyes and the lighting. They've improved. Doesn't feel nearly as blocky, even though it's using pixels and basic shapes. So the texturing has gotten better too. Quality, quality, quality! Ooh, I have a double jump? Hell yes! Can I get out of the roof? Oh, bugger! Heck, here. I mean, that is more practical, but at the same time, it would have been nice to just see a nice little cutout mirror right there. Aesthetically. Since it was no matter which way they angle this, it's going to confuse at least some person or another. Because for me, I was like, oh, mirror? And my line of sight was drawn over into here. But it was over here. And to someone else, that might be obvious that it's over here, since it's more aligned with this wall than it is this wall. But to me, that's not obvious. That's how little differences in perspective matter more than you think they would. How what seems obvious and clearly explainable in your mind can how something as simple as that can be completely confusing for another person. That's why learning to communicate is important. Because if you can't say it clearly, and you're struggling to believe you will even be heard in your efforts to try and say it, then why would you try? If not for just a little bit of hope. Anyways, yeah. That's this world, and my name is Flicker. I hope you enjoy this little wandering. May we each find a better way to live our own futures. To be the people we choose. And to be there for ourselves, even if we're sometimes annoyed with ourselves. Oh. Bye-bye.